Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q1 FY 2022-23 earnings conference call of Gufic Biosciences Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and anyone who wishes to ask a question may enter star and one on their touchtone phone. To remove yourself from the question queue, please enter star and two. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Amy Shah, Company Secretary. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Peter. Good evening and a warm welcome to Gufic Biosciences Limited earnings conference call for first quarter of FY22-23. I have with me Mr. Pranav Choksi, Chief Executive Officer and Whole-Time Director, Mr. Devkinandan Roonghta, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Avik Das from Investor Relations team to give the highlights of the business performance of the company and to clarify all the queries of the investors during the call. After the opening remarks from the management, operator will open the bridge for Q&A session. But before we proceed with the call, please note some of the statements made in today's discussion may be forward-looking and are based on management's current expectation, and this may be viewed in conjunction with risk and uncertainties involved in our business. The company assumes no responsibility to publish or update or amend, modify, revise any forward-looking statement based on any subsequent development, new information, or futures, or except as required by the applicable laws in force. This call is being recorded and the playback shall be made available on our website shortly after the call. The transcript of this call will be submitted to the stock exchange and will also be made available on our website. I'll now hand over the call to Mr. Avik for his opening remarks. Thank you all. Over to you, Avik.
Thank you so much, Ami, and welcome one and all to our call. And thank you so much for taking your time out. So I'll quickly summarize what the quarter has been and then dive into each of our division and some of our key business initiatives. So first quarter, our non-COVID business has grown very well. So the growth has been nearly 20% in our non-COVID portfolio as compared to the same quarter of the previous year. In this quarter, even though inflation was high and there were supply chain issues and other sectors as well, but we've not only been able to insulate EBITDA margins, but we've also been able to improve our margins. Quarter was primarily.
Mr. Das, sorry to interrupt. There's a disturbance from your line. Can you please begin again?
Is it better now?
No, it's not.
Okay, 1 second. Let me try again. Hello?
Yeah, it's better now. Please go ahead.
It's better now? Yeah, okay. So welcome one and all to our Concall. And so I'll just first quickly summarize how the quarter has been for us and then take a deep dive into each of the divisions. So excluding the COVID portfolio, we've seen a growth of around 20%, and we've not only been able to insulate our EBITDA margins in these inflationary times, but we've also seen an improvement in our EBITDA margins. Growth in this quarter was primarily driven by exports and our domestic market. We gained market share in key therapy areas such as infertility, ortho and gynecology, as well as aesthetics. And robust performance was noted in our branded and CMO business via antifungals, hormones, and anti-inflammatories. And even our international business, we saw better penetration in Europe and LATAM. Now I'll quickly take you all through the performance of each of our divisions. So within the critical care division, we've been able to retain leadership position in the antifungal and antibacterial space. As you all are all aware that we launched dual chamber bag for the first time in India, initially targeting anti-infectives. The total addressable market over here is 3,000 crores. And of course, critical care segment faced some headwinds due to reduced hospitalizations and excess inventory in the channel. But with the launch of dual chamber bags and normalization of hospitalizations, we see growth coming back in the next quarter. And in this quarter, we've also entered neurology, which is with some unique products and with a dedicated task force. And we've also set up a training center. I'll talk about it subsequently on this. And the idea mainly over here is to broaden the addressable market for the product that we've launched in the neurology segment. Now I'll take a quick dive into the Ferticare division. So in this division, we will be launching dydrogesterone. This is a product which is ready to launch, and to de-risk ourselves, we have vertically integrated with our own API. The market size for this product in India at the moment is 700 crores and growing roughly at 60% year on year. And we are planning an annual sales of at least 20 crores in less than 2 years. And as a company, we have also invested in developing a recombinant alternative to the urinary source of a certain hormone, which is very critical in the treatment of infertility. And by doing this, we will be de-risking ourselves of geopolitical issues as well as currency risks, maybe within the next 15 to 18 months. And broadly, we have the widest basket of products now in the infertility segment, and we are vertically integrated with our own manufacturing. We have a very strong field presence, and we intend to be among the top 3 players in India in the next 3 years in the infertility segment. This is, of course, a 4,000 crore market and growing at 15% year on year. Next, I'll take you all through Health and Spark division. So we are, of course, market leaders in the anti-inflammatory and herbal medicines. We have initiated trial of a product which is derived from Indian gum by a standardized extraction process for management of asthma. So this is an extension of our existing product, but targeting a new indication, of course, which is a very huge market in India. And our brand in this space, Salaki, continues to be the market leader in Boswellia serrata range of products. And new multivitamins and anti-inflammatory basket will be coming up in the coming quarters and will be driving the growth further in these 2 divisions. Now in Stellar division, we already launched Salaki Max, and now we are complementing it with launch of pain management and muscle recovery products. And we are also launching a very unique topical oil suspension, which will improve penetration and faster recuperation. And we foresee that this is a very differentiated product and very few companies have it in India, and we foresee growth to come into this division as a result of the combination of all these products. Now on the international business front, we've seen a growth of around 25% in this segment. We are very proud to let you know that we are exporting to more than 130 countries now. Currently, we have 180 registrations, and in the past quarter itself, we received 13 registrations, and we've applied for 33 new registrations. We are very, very proud to announce that we've received 2 product approvals from UK MHRA in the past quarter. We've set up our own subsidiary in UK to grow this business. We've also applied for 1 more product in Brazil. So for Europe and LATAM, our strategy is very much in place, which is to take our existing developed formulation in these countries, especially those countries where we already have presence, and identify new countries based on market gaps and opportunities. Now I'll take you all through a brief overview and our idea behind setting up the Center of Excellence in Mumbai. So the Center of Excellence will be not only treating your facial skin and body, but it is going to be using the most advanced equipment, toxins and fillers for entire face and body contouring. And through this Center of Excellence, we intend to bring to market some of the most advanced technologies and techniques, products from across practices and philosophies and markets as well. And this will be the most panoramic way of approaching your skin treatment and body contouring treatments in India. And moreover, the idea of setting up the Center of Excellence is to promote it as a knowledge repository and make it open and available to all members of the medical fraternity to leverage our findings and and showcase the magnificent and marvelous capabilities of botulinum toxins. And after this, I'll just give you a quick run-through of the Acerderm division as well. So Stanox continues its penetration into the Indian market. We are also developing fillers to complement and complete this entire basket now. We've started, as I said, the training center for new therapies with combination of machines and use of fillers and botulinum toxin for face and body contouring. And we've also tied up with experts in the field of vaginal tightening and vaginal rejuvenation and organized training at national level to promote the use of botulinum toxin for these indications. And a quick update on our R&D. So our API R&D at Navsari is going very well. We have selected the molecules in very targeted therapy segments such as antifungals, antibiotics, and a lot of it will be for backward integration as well. And so that R&D center and the product development is going on very well. And we will be completing the clinical trial for D29 by Q3 of FY23, and we'll be submitting by around the same time to DCGI for final approval. This, of course, is a novel once-a-week anti-infective which will be launched for the first time in India. We've also done some interesting work in Biopenem in the last quarter, and we are expecting approval soon, not only in the vial form but also dual-chamber bags. And dual-chamber bag will be the first company in India to launch Biopenem with. Now, the thing about Biopenem is that currently the market penetration is quite low due to the unviable pricing. But we intend to, using our proprietary technology, we intend to reduce the pricing and increase the reach, and thereby increasing the overall market for Biopenem in India. Of course, we've had a very successful launch of dual chamber bags. We've also shared a link in our presentation, and I'll highly encourage all of you all to have a look at how beautiful that product is. And for isavuconazole, we will be complementing the injectable form with an oral option as well by Q3 of FY23. And overall, the market for this molecule is growing at roughly 100%. Last quarter, we did announce of our partnership with Selvax, which is an Australian company focused on immuno-oncology. So there's a quick update on that this particular therapy has demonstrated promising results in 2 pancreatic cancer models tested in the preclinical stage. And these results align with other different mouse tumor models tested. So the current treatment options for pancreatic cancer include surgery, chemotherapy, and radiotherapy. These options are rarely effective and in most cases are used to manage symptoms rather than eradicate the disease. And which is definitely highlighting there's a need for a new treatment that can effectively combat this cancer. And Selvax has shown some very promising results. We've highlighted that in our investor presentation as well. And a quick update on our capex at Indore. So the civil construction and site development work is progressing very well and as per schedule. And we're very happy to announce that it's nearing completion. So all our equipments have been selected and ordered, and we expect most of these equipment to reach us by September. So we are still on track for commercialization of this facility by Q1 of FY24. With the Penem block at Navsari, our decision to move it to Navsari has played very well given the timing, the time that we've saved, and our ability to leverage the existing utilities around. So the civil work is completed, all the equipments have been received, installations have been completed, and we are absolutely on track to hit commercialization in this month itself, which is an announcement that we made earlier. So with this, I hand over the call to our CFO, Mr. Roonghta, to give you all a brief overview of the numbers for the past quarter.
Thank you, Avi. Good evening. I'm Mr. D.P. Roonghta, CFO of the company. I will going to highlight the financial performance of the company for Q1 of financial year 22-23. Firstly, I would like to inform you that in the Q1 of last year, that is 21-22, the sale was 252 crores. This includes the COVID sales of around 113 crores, COVID-related products. And if I remove the COVID-related products, the net sale without COVID was around 139 crores. against 139 crores. This quarter, the sales is around 165.70 crores. That is around 20% jump on the top line. Both the quarters figure are not comparable because of the inclusive of COVID-related sales of around 113 crores. So I am making a comparison between the Q1 of 22-23 versus Q4 of 21-22. The total revenue for the Q1 of this year is around 165.70 crore, where the subsequent Q1, that is Q4 of 21-20, was around 162.2 crores. EBITDA for the current quarter is around 33.6 crore, whereas Q4 of last year was around 31.6 crore. The EBITDA margin is in current quarter is 20.3%. In the last quarter of last year was 19.5%. There was improvement about 0.80 basis point. Profit before tax has improved from 26.2 crores to 28.3 crore. PAT margin has improved from 16.1% to 17.1%. And profit after tax has improved from 20.3 crores to 21.1 crores. PAT margin has further improved from 12.5% to 12.7%. And the Q1 of this year versus Q1 of last year is not comparable because of sale of COVID of drugs of around 113 crores. Thank you very much. I am request Pranav sir to take the.
So thank you, Rumta sir. So I think Peter will directly go to the question and answer, right? I believe that's the normal protocol.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Our first question comes from the line of Girish Gulati, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Mr. Gulati, your line has been unmuted. You can proceed with your question.
Please. Thank you. Pranav sir, first of all, hi to everybody, Mr. Rungta, Mr. Pranav Bhai, and Mr. Avik as well. So my question is that regarding the pancreatic cancer, what are the updates which we have, and are we trying to target any hospitals yet, like AIG hospital is there and PSRI hospital is there as well?
Yeah, Giriji, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, good evening. So, yes, so in terms of the therapy, what we normally do, we are currently following certain animal models as per the regulatory pathway. So, first we have to always, like, Avik also, commented, we have to start with some animal studies and then only we are allowed to take the permission of the government to perform certain human studies. Of course, assuming it's an oncology product, the permission is a little bit fast track, but it goes through a protocol. So as of now, the status is that, as we have mentioned, these are mostly for solid tumors, the entire immunotherapy which we are working on. And we had already got good results in some species of animals, that is, dogs first and then mouse and all that. And now the recent update which has come is in regard to pancreatic cancer, again being a type of a solid tumor, but more importantly, it's a different type of tumors which we got sort of a higher percentage of remediation, which is not possible in the conventional FDA-approved therapies also. So answering your question, sir, yes, the moment we get the permission moment we submit our data to, right now it's with the Australian government, we will be starting the journey to the Indian government once we get the tech transfer is on process and we get a final formulation, we do the tech transfer. And then we will be applying to the Indian government to either allow us to go for a direct phase 3 or maybe they might ask for a phase 2. If not, so I don't want to do any animal studies here in India till the entire concept has been fully proven. So we are looking at least some time off till we start the human trials in India.
Because see, why I was asking this is pancreatic cancer is usually unsolvable disease.
Yes,
and
yes.
if we come out with a medicine which is, can take care of it, usually it is fatal only. So,
very rightly said.
Yep.
Yeah, so very rightly said. Yeah, so cancer, I would say, is one of the difficult cancers to treat. But like you rightly said, it is having its own challenge. And so we hope that, with such data in the animal models, we should get a fast track response to do some trials earlier in, the Indian market also. So I agree with you. We should try to push it, and we already are trying to push it to get some earlier response. So we'll be submitting to the DCGI very soon.
Good luck, sir, because that's a very, very challenging disease, actually.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Gufic.
And one more follow-up was, in the last, I think, Q3 Concall, you mentioned about indoor facilities will be coming up with vaccine, NGDAs, biotech, and peptides.
Yeah.
So just because this is an area of your interest, so just wanted a bit brief on that, sir.
Yeah, sure. So as you rightly said, so we are already launched the peptide forms. The recombinant protein, the recombinant hormones are something which Avik also spoke about. We are trying to get in the next 15, 18 months, maybe one product before that also. The oral vaccine technology is something which we already have applied the proof of concept to the DCGI in February, and we have got a reply in some months ago, and we have replied back to that also in the month of July. So we are hoping for another, lineup maybe in the month of August, how to take it forward. And we are going to apply in the month of October for one more candidate of the oral vaccine technology to the DCGI. Knowing the timelines, like I said, vaccine will be a little bit more long term in terms of the regulatory cycle as compared to the recombinant proteins, because they already generic. I would say it will be more of the recombinant products are mostly like biosimilars, whereas the oral vaccine technology will be a complete new technology on its own. So I foresee some, I would say, extensive regulatory pathway, which is fine, and we accept that, and we want that to happen. So we ensure that the product is completely safe and effective. So, but it is exciting. I hope, that oral vaccine, when the time comes of at least the preliminary, preclinical, then animal and phase 2, you will be hearing some nice, updates from us.
Wonderful. And sir, on that platform of biotech, sir?
Yeah. So biotech, like that one. So the biotech is entirely about the recombinant proteins, oral technology, and immunotherapy of the tie-up with Cellvex. So these are the three things which we are working on in the entire things of biotechnology. Apart from, of course, the peptides, which we already mentioned, we are doing work on, recurrent implantation failure and endometriosis. So all of this comprise the entire biotech headspace of, I would say, the entire, entry of Gufic into these sectors. So all four of these things.
Perfect. And these are very challenging, and I wish you good luck for this, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your patience, and I make this opportunity. I hope you have patience with the company, because these are long term, but they are really having their own trajectory. So we will go step by step, and we'll ensure that we do it the right way.
Right, sir. And we are always there to support you as a part of Gufic, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Rajat Sethia with iThought PMS. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity. My first question is about the dual chamber bags, which we say is a 3,000 crore opportunity. So can you please highlight who are the major competitors and what's their market share?
So Rajatji, good evening. When we say 3,000 crore market share, we specifically refer to the conventional dosage forms which are available in the form of penems, then penicillin-based antibiotics, and also some, I would say gram-positive antibiotics. To name a few, we are talking about meropenem, imipenem, biapenem, then, doripenem, and piperazine, tazobactam, and vancomycin, and teicoplanin. So these are currently available in India. I'm again talking specifically for India, only in the form of the normal vial. So you have a glass vial, you have a rubber stopper, and I would also once again take this opportunity for you all to refer to the link which Avik has mentioned, because I'll try to explain to my level best in the call, but once you see the video which we have uploaded on the presentation, it gives a very good 3D, which I like lots of audio visual representation of what the technology is about. So currently the product is available in the vial, and the entire medical, the nurse Meiji and the medical fraternity takes approximately 3 to 5 minutes depending on their time to reconstitute each product, which might lead to cross-contamination, inaccurate dosing, or in some cases some other sort of a contamination because of air or because of some using the wrong needle or the wrong diluent also. So with this technology of dual chamber bags, we have ensured that the entire drug remains in a very enclosed way, and there is not exposed to atmosphere, and the entire reconstitution happens only in around 20 seconds as compared to 3 to 5 minutes. So imagine in today's scenario when the workload on the nurse is quite, I would say, high, because she has to handle in any ward you see, the nurse to patient ratio is quite high. Apart from just treating them and serving them, they also have to take care of documentation, which is a big thing as per the new guidelines also. So if we can save, around 3 to 5 minutes per patient, and maybe a patient has to be administered medicines on an average around 3 to 4 times a day, I'm saying on an average, we are saving a decent amount of time for a nurse. In some cases, we have done some exercise, around 1.5 hours of a nurse is saved on a daily basis, which we can, either spend on the documentation or spend on herself to just, take a break and relax. But more importantly, the cross-contamination which happens in the ICU setup, where the drug, because of the atmosphere, a lot of people have different diseases and different conditions, and since the entire dual chamber bag is enclosed, there is no air hole, or there's no pinhole, or there's nothing else which comes in over. So the entire drug goes into the IV in the form of an enclosed system to avoid any sort of exposed contamination. So we refer to this technology as a new thing which has been brought into India in form of this. At the same time, I would like to be very upfront. This technology is already available for some products in the US and the European markets. However, the price is almost 3 to 5 times the cost of a conventional product, which makes the product not viable, and that's why it's not keeping up. We are proud to say that we have launched the current product with only a price expense of around 15 to 20% in some cases than the conventional drug right now for these products in the Indian market, and we foresee that after, maybe after a year or two, once we reach economic of scale, or maybe earlier than that, we foresee that we can make the cost of the dual chamber bag almost same as a conventional vial, which will be a big revolution. So this is a product which we are talking about.
Okay, this is really very helpful. Thank you. So basically, of this 3,000 crore market, some is dual chamber, which has just started, and rest is conventional vials. So how much would be dual chambers at the moment?
The entire 3,000 crore market is conventional vial only. We have launched the product just right now. So we are the first one to come to dual chamber, and then we will be taking a market share from this. We are the only one in India with a dual chamber bag. No one else.
Okay. And imports are also not happening for this kind of product?
Imports are happening for liquid, Dorotil, parenteral nutrition, which are triple chamber bags. But no one in India as of now has a powder liquid dual chamber bag, which is the most unique and complex thing. Only Gufic has. And Gufic is going to do that via their own, and also we're going to give it to 2 of our associate clients to bring up the concept molecule-wise.
Understood. And what kind of revenue potential you see for yourself in next 2 years from this product itself? And do you plan, and have we launched the dual chamber bag that we have launched, is the only product in this category, or you think there will be more variants to address different kind of therapies?
Always. So anything which can be done intravenously, we can do in this product, all the way from 50 milligram to even 5 grams, all the way from 25 ml to 100 ml. We can always have these permutations and combinations, and we have the capacity to back it up. Answering your question, I have an internal target of the market share, but I'll refrain from doing that. But like I said, we are working on so many things. Something works at this time, something works at that time. But overall, our target of minimum 15-20% year-over-year revenue jump will be coming, and this product will be playing quite a big role along with the indoor facility also. So we foresee that we should, as it is, try to take as much as market share as possible. But again, I cannot give you numbers as of now because it will be too, I would say wrong on my part. Let me give me a quarter. I'll see the response, and I'll give you a much more solid number by then.
So, and are you seeing any more people entering dual chamber bag in the immediate future?
As of now, no, I don't see, because for us, it at least took us 4 years to actually get it done because we got the entire thing from Europe. We had to do something indigenously, all the way from mold making to stabilities and all that. So I see if anyone wants to follow the right European and the US way of launching a product, which we do, then I don't see a competition at least for the next 2 years. However, I have seen India people do shortcuts and come up with inferior products, which I cannot comment on. But as of now, I don't see any shortcuts of inferior products coming in. But if anyone has to do and launch a product our way, minimum they have to work 2 years from now if they have to start. Minimum, I'm saying. It must be more, because at least we will be a blueprint for people to follow.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your answers. Thanks. Also, just one small thing, if I can suggest, in the opening remarks, if we can avoid, if we can cover something which is not already mentioned in the presentation, that will give us more time for the Q&A. Thank you so much.
No, I agree, but then we have got that question that I hope people like you at least read the presentation. A lot of people just meet us without the presentation, and that's why we do it. But I got your point. What we can do, we can maybe shorten it up a little bit, and we can spend more time on Q&A. I got your point. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Subramaniam K with Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Hi, Pranav sir. Good evening. Thanks for the opportunity. Sir, my first question is, assuming the total market size of critic care is 5,000 crore, which is mentioned in the previous call, and as we have a lot of things lined up like dual chamber bags, Zarbot, etc., currently we have 4% market share, which is 200 crore sales in FY 2022. And in the 40 care, we have 3% market share in the 3,500 crore total market size. So I wanted to understand what are your aspirations moving forward, and when can we see the double-digit market share captured in each division?
Subramaniam, firstly, I would like to compliment you for your percentage impact. I think precision. I don't know, even if I don't know what the percentage you said is right or wrong, but I like to compliment that. Coming back, I think in a market like India, sir, only innovation will bring that double-digit, I would say market share. If you see the ORG IMS numbers also, you see the entire market, of 1,80,000 crore, which according to ORG IMS is there. I'm not giving you any number from my mind. If you see the number one company still would be around 8 to 9, but I'll still correct myself. I think I'll wait for Avik to maybe see the IMS data and inform me what is it correct. So I would of course love to have double-digit market share in India, and I think you rightly said in critical care and in infertility it is possible because of certain launches which we have planned in the next few years. And as Avik mentioned, I will first talk about infertility. As we see the market, the market of infertility products will be much higher. But when we give you a certain number, we only talk about the represented market where our molecules are present. So let's say if I'm launched the progesterone, I will only talk about a progesterone. I will not talk about a dydrogesterone. But if I talk about dydrogesterone, it will also include only dydrogesterone. So that way, considering that, we feel in a represented market share, we hope in the next 3 years we should have more than definitely a double-digit. Maybe next to 2 to 3 years we should have a double-digit market share in the represented market for sure. Coming to the critical care, you rightly said, if you see, critical care is very unique because all the way from anti-infectives, then anesthetics, cardiac, even neurological, even parental nutrition, anesthesia, a lot of things come in critical care. So the 5,000 crore market which I was representing is related to the represented market where we have molecules present. We have plans now from the Indore factory and from the Navsari factory to actually go and gradually address in the next 3 years a 25,000 crore market share where we have listed out molecules as per ORG IMS. And we are trying to go a little bit on a penetrative model where we get into all primary, secondary and tertiary hospitals via a different alternate module of end-to-end. So again, I'm saying that as my molecule launches go up, I will be always increasing my represented market from a 5,000 crore to a 25,000 crore. So even though in the represented market I might be getting into double digits, when I increase my market share to 25,000 crore, I might again come in a single digit after 3 years because of there'll be new lines launched up. So as a molecule wise, I will like to share with you in some example. We are the number 1 company for some fungins, we are the number 2 company for some antibiotics, we are the number 3 company, and because of these individual molecule markets, we already might be in double digit right now itself. We might be in certain cases maybe 20% of the market share. In certain cases we might be 33% of the market share also. So it's a very difficult way for me to answer your question, but I hope I have done it in my best way possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It has given me the understanding of the total addressable market, how you are projecting yourself. Okay, so I will go ahead with the other division. So I want to understand what are the challenges in making Salaki as 100 crore sales product. So if you see, as we are using 30% of field force in healthcare division, which is highest among other division in terms of this field force usage, and sales per field force is low compared to industry standard. So do you have any other anchor products in pipeline which can replicate Salaki?
I think very good question. I think this is a very good question which I ask myself and the marketing again and again. If you talk about non-steroidal anti-inflammatory products, you have the diclofenac and aceclofenac, which are very big markets. If you see a Boswellia serrata, maybe it might not have an analgesic effect as much as a diclofenac would be. But the long-term use of a Boswellia serrata and the safety and the benefit of a Boswellia serrata as an anti-inflammatory is far, far more than these other NSAIDs. But the problem, what I feel, and this is my own personal opinion, please take it in that way. Normally, when anyone goes to a doctor, the doctor wants the person first to be relief of pain, and that's why there is always importance that you have to give an analgesic first, followed by an anti-inflammatory. For us, we are in the last 3 to 4 years also trying to endorse that let's say the Ayurvedic experts already established the product and we have a particular scalability in place. For us actually to go for a genuine high scale of 100 crores or 150 crores or reach, make this entire Boswellia serrata market, forget just Gufic Sallaki. If we want to make the Boswellia serrata market in multiples of hundreds of crores also, we need to do many more clinical trials and training sessions for the orthopedic doctors and the decision makers of KOLs who actually are the main primary treatment leaders of rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis and ensure that how we do that. So we are trying to do that in the last 2-3 years. It's not easy. We try a level best to do trials. We try a level best to do symposiums, and we try to do training. I would not use the word training as the right word. Basically, it's just informing and telling the doctor what a product can help ensure that they try to do it. Even if you see the cost of therapy of gum and the long-term management of the disease is much convenient than doing any other thing which is available in the form of the modern medicine also. However, I'm not here to debate the pros and cons of either, but I would like to say that our efforts are on. We hope that via doing more clinical trials, via doing more studies with different institutes and key opinion leaders of India, we want to confirm them that the Indian alternate as an anti-inflammatory is very good. Also, I'll tell you one more challenge which we had in the middle. Since our product was a Ayurvedic proprietary medicine, there was a rule in some states, and again, I'm telling you what information we have and you can check it up on your own also. A lot of allopathic doctors are not allowed to write Ayurvedic products, and Ayurvedic products anyway, Ayurvedic doctors are not allowed to write allopathic products. And this is something which we always try to go and change and talk to the government and do it. And of course government is helping us a lot also, because there's always benefit in either. We cannot say that no, this is important, that is not important. And now, since for Sallaki we have actually approached the product as a modern medicine. We have worked on the pharmacology part of it. We have worked on the pharmacokinetics. We have done so much work on, we also have worked on the mutagenicity of the product also, which we have used this data to register products in countries like Germany and Switzerland. So if modern doctors from Germany and Switzerland are allowed to write this product, we also have made a representation to the government of India, and they are helping us because they also want to promote the Ayurvedic product use wherever science is involved. I'm not talking about all Ayurvedic products, but wherever science and data is there, they are backing us to also make other doctors use. So I hope in the near future, if the modern doctors try our product, use our product, which we will work a lot for that. And if they are allowed to prescribe a product, I don't foresee why not Sallaki becoming a 100 crore product very soon, because it's been there for 20 years. It's become more than a 30 crore product. I hope very soon. I think it's more than a 30 crore product, but I hope very soon we can extrapolate it to much higher numbers.
Thank you very much, Pranav sir. This is a mind-blowing explanation for the history behind Sallaki and the market dynamics. So we are focusing only on Sallaki because we are having more than 30% of the field force. Like, is there any other product, like as you are facing this Ayurvedic challenge with modern doctors, so do we have any other products in pipeline?
Oh yes, of course. So we have multivitamins, we have products for kidney stones, for any stones. Then we also have products for our Cofend, which is a combination of honey and our other conventional forms. They are also very good. So we have more than around 24, more than 18 products and more than 24 SKUs, which is part of the division. We also are launching some new innovative, I would say, options for cardiac treatment soon. Of course, but it's no use just launching a product on concept. If before launching any product on concept, we do try to do some clinical trials and we do some data. So at least it helps to convince the doctor with scientific data. Otherwise, there is a plethora of products in the market which just makes claims which has no evidence. So Ayurvedic products will improve in India only once they are backed with scientific data, and that is what we are trying to do step by step.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Bhavya Sonawala with Prime Asset Source. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Just to understand, I know you have iterated this before, but just to understand again, that according to you, what is our differentiating or a unique factor? Is it that, we are able to pick the right drug and get it in, or, using lyophilization as the process, are we trying to come up with new drug delivery systems? Just trying to understand what is our macro strategy to grow all our, we have many growth levers. So what is our strategy and what sets us apart? Thank you.
I think that's a very long question to answer. I think I can finish the entire call on this question, but please, I'll try to do my level best. How do I answer that? So, you would like to say something, Bhavya? Please, yeah, then I'll...
No, nothing. Sorry, sir.
Yeah. So, like I said, something is a legacy business of Gufic, which we are trying to do in our own way and take it forward. At the same time, we know there are certain growth levers which immediately help us for the scalability, like the lyophilization, the critical care, and the infertility. And then we're looking at a long-term picture of Gufic also, which is fully innovation driven. So when you take any company cycle, and I'll explain to you. So we had some legacy business of Ayurveda, nutraceuticals, and consumer. We got out of consumer and we stuck with Ayurveda, and we launched modern products. And then we got into life-saving injectables, which helped us scale through. Now that business is doing well, and we now are looking at, from India we went to other geographies, and then we went, of course, backed with better regulatory facility, first in Navsari, increasing capacities, then went to Indore, which will come from April 2023, which will be additional capacities plus new geographies, maybe certain markets. Like our Navsari factory is approved in all countries except US and Japan. We already are exporting to all the countries, as what Avik already mentioned. With Indore coming up, we are not only doing lyophilization, we are doing pre-filled syringes, we are doing suspensions, we are doing depot injections, we are doing liposomal injections, we are doing, certain ampule complex molecules also, and then there'll be a separate setup in Indore down the line for biotechnology. So wherever the company matured, the ideas are there, but depending on the cash flow and depending on how much the company can, punch above its belt, that is what we are trying to keep that balance going on. There might be amazing ideas. India is not a market where if you have ideas, you can just go and get a PE fund and, go and just become a one product company. Always the balance sheet and the numbers always matter. And luckily for us also with Rungta sir and their team, we are very disciplined in our approach in terms of what we can do and when we can do. So that's why many people see Gufic as a multi-lever, growth lever company and say, why are you doing so many things? It's not. The basic essence of Gufic is innovation. It was innovation in Ayurveda with scientific data. It was innovation in injectables in terms of not only product basket, the economic of scale, but also the pipeline. And now also, I would say innovation to some extent in terms of execution to get into these multiple countries where we can take market share and using our economic of scale and other levers, maybe go for a better penetration and, for a higher scale. Coming to the third point, which is I am a B.Pharm and MSc in biotech. I always feel that going down the line, conventional products are very good. They will have their own trajectory. But at the same time, you have to work on something unique, which we started off. So even the botulinum toxin was something unique, which we started working in 2016, 2017. Eventually, we launched in 2021. And now that will have its own growth story. It will take time, but because we have to drive and, educate the culture and the entire thing in India, which takes time. And because, it's not an overnight thing. We have to create a market with science and we have to create a market with trials and training and all that, which we are interested to, because we know that it's not a conventional competition where suddenly, once we launch, 20 other people will come and, take the market share. So here we will create a market where we'll try to be the leader down the line. And we know that because of the gross contribution and the backward integration or vertical integration, whatever we call it, we will be there a strong player for years to come. Similar with the biotech programs of immuno-oncology or with the vaccine technology, we want to work on unique things where, with the help of patent protection, with the help of IP protection, we can offer solutions which can help us for higher scalability in, of course, the budget which we have and something which can put Gufic in a different orbit in terms of the reputation of innovation. That's what. So all of them are part of the essence of, again, innovation and, science, which is a core backbone of the company, and we do it in our way, step by step. Karke. I cannot just start burning 300, 400 crore cash on any unique product and start waiting for that. So we do it in the right way and take it forward. So that's why you have these different growth levers, which will have their own, what we call, roadmap, but eventually they will be branching out from the same, I would say, ethos of innovation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the explanation. Really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Pujan Shah with Congruence Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. I have few questions. First of all, it's about dydrogesterone, in which we have, in presentation, we are saying that it is a market size of 700 crores and growing at 60% YOY. So we are targeting just only 20 crores in less than 2 years. Like, is this market too concentrated, or like it's a high entry barrier to get into this product? Can you just give some gestation over there?
Sure, sir. So basically, sir, dydrogesterone before 2 years was a market only of 1 or 2 players. Dufastone of Abbott was the only molecule which was ruling the market at least for 3 years or 4 years before. I think Mankind came and did a wonderful job and could crack the molecule first. Now, of course, as you rightly said, yes, there are around now 3 or 4 players, and it's a very complex product to work on. It uses some principles of photoreactory cell and all that. It's not a product which can be just done as a conventional pharma product. Now, why everyone is interested in it, even though there are around 6-7 players in the product, is because if you see the Indian population and you see the use of a progesterone, so basically dydrogesterone is another molecule as an alternate to a progesterone, which is naturally possible, and it is something which helps in not only pregnancy but also in infertility also. It's one of the treatment options beyond infertility, after the infertility is taken care of, and then you have to maintain the pregnancy. So the use is almost for a long period of time. And hence, we feel with our field force, and our focus is mostly on infertility right now. And eventually, if we can do a good job in gynac, then of course we foresee our market share will improve. But right now, with the infertility segment where our strengths are, and because we might be not in the first 3 or the first 5 companies to launch this molecule, we are looking at I would say, very fairly conservative outlook of 20 crores in the first 2 years, because we foresee more and more competition coming in. In India, the market is very different. In India, such molecules, you will see maybe someone launches and then you will see 100 companies just fall in maybe in a period of 2 years. And that's why we always become conservative and we don't go overboard, because then, we never know how the outcome will come. But one advantage what we have is, we are backward integrated. There are very few API manufacturers of it. So we hope that even though as a brand we might not be able to do much, or we might try, but there might be always this clutter and prescription war happening, we might always focus as an API supplier. So that is another business model we are looking into if we cannot cut it down. Because like we said, we already have a lot of, I would say, focused things which we want to get into. And this can be an add-on, but where we can have more focus on the API supply rather than the formulation also, or let's see how it goes.
Okay, sir. Thanks for the detailed answer. My second question would be on Concall, which is an oral option. So market is growing at 100%. So is this like, can you just give us the market size, like what will be the roughly market, and how it is evolving, and just give some options, like giving out to how it's been transiting or taking some market option over or overlapping some market over there?
Yeah. So for this, to understand this market, you have to understand 2 points. Isavuconazole injection and oral was launched by the innovator only 1.5 years ago, and it was launched in a good time because for the people of India, because after COVID there was mucormycosis which came, and in mucormycosis, along with other products like liposomal amphotericin B or other products like voriconazole, other products like even fungins, this was a good product of choice along with posaconazole, like posaconazole also. So there was only the innovator player who was still available in the Indian market till now. We were the first Indian company to get the permission from DCGI this year in 2022, and we launched the product just 2 months ago. I think 2 or 3 months, which was mentioned in our, I think, last quarter call. We just have an injection right now, and we're now looking forward to launch the oral. The oral use is almost 3:1 in terms of the injection use. And we foresee that with the oral becoming more affordable for the people of India than what is it right now in the market, we foresee that the market of certain specific fungal infections will be getting, where patients have a challenge or doctors have a challenge because there is not much, I would say, there might be either resistance or there might be some challenges in terms of treatment. This can be a very good effective weapon for us to address that. So right now, the market being small, I look at the market itself as per ORG IMS might be not only 30 crores, it's only been 1.5 years. But you can imagine in 1.5 years, only with the innovator at such a high pricing, it's become 30 crores or I think 25 or 30 crores. But it's growing, it's doubling up every year. So we foresee down the line, when I compare this market with the other antifungal market, which is quite huge, then we will see that this molecule will take more and more market share and it has a good scope to go much higher.
Thank you, sir. Just like a compliment for dual chamber. Actually, I saw the video and it's a fabulous product. Hope so it gets a good traction in the market.
Thank you.
Sir, one of the point I just wanted to highlight is we have given a breakup of domestic business and total revenue, but we haven't placed the percentage-wise. So can you just give me the split of this percentage-wise, if we can, for Q1?
Of the domestic business?
Domestic business breakup we have presented in the presentation, but the number is not been given. Like the percentage format is not been given.
Let me correct me if I'm what I am not answering. So yeah, so always if you see the domestic business is always around 50-55% of our total revenue anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So could you just give us the split of the critical care, infertility and others? Like we have given the split, but actually the percentage-wise we haven't given on that split. So it's been not clear.
Sir, for the quarter itself, I might not be aware about that, but what I can do, I can ask Avik to specially send you, so there'll be a more precise answer than what I'll tell you, which might be a little bit offhand, which might be, might be not precise. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir. Okay, done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Ankit Minocha with MRLR Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, and thanks for the opportunity. I thought that it was a decent growth in EBITDA margins this quarter. So is this EBITDA margin of 20% sustainable for the coming year? And is this kind of the range that we should be looking at? That's my first question.
So Ankit, I think I'll request Roonghta sir to answer that question. He'll be more, I think, adept than me. Roonghta sir, can you please take this question?
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
So last year, our average EBITDA margin was around 18.7%. Last Q4 of 21-22 was around 19.5%. This quarter, this was 20.3%. We feel that looking to the current business scenario, we will be able to maintain the EBITDA margin for this year at least 20%, and it can go up to 21% also, depending upon the product mix and prices in the international market of the API prices. I can say that after Indore coming to play in 23-24, there will be pressure on the EBITDA margin because the capacity utilization in first year will be around 30-35%. So there will be pressure in the 23-24 of the EBITDA margin. It will be around 20% or it may fall to 19% also because of the burdens of finance cost, depreciation, and capacity utilization will be only 30-35%. But after 23-24, we expect the EBITDA margin in long term may going to be improved by 100 basis points by year to year, at least for 2-3 years. So that will be the overall expectation of the EBITDA margin depending upon the present business condition.
Right. Thank you. That's a very comprehensive explanation. Just additionally, it's actually very exciting to see the unique opportunities that you're working on as an investor. But if I ask you about the core business, I mean, on lyophilization for the moderate term, how do you look at that for the next 5 years? I mean, how does the growth for lyophilization look from an Indian and international perspective? Maybe I would say 5-7 years down the line.
Yeah. So if you honestly ask me, it's still my go-to thing because, and I'm very bullish about it. I'll tell you some reasons why. You already saw the potential of the lyophilization masterpiece of Gufic last year. So when you saw just a molecule like remdesivir, and of course I hope and I pray to God that we don't see any pandemic in the near future, and I hope we don't do that. But you saw the capability of the company to handle such a pandemic when you saw a company which is growing by 300 to 400, 400 to 500, and suddenly that going to close to 790 crores. That's the scalability what we have. Even without any pandemic or something, the organic growth of the injection market space is anywhere around 12 to 13%. We are not even, I'll come to the international market later. I'll come first to the Indian market to tell you what I mean by perspective. If you see the Indore factory what we are coming up is going to be almost 2.5 times the capacity of what we have in Navsari, and that's not something great. So if I'm assuming there are 7.7 or 7.8 billion people in the world and 1.3 billion people in India, that 1.3 billion people, the access to medicine in terms of the number of hospital beds, if you just see the reports of the number of hospitals which are coming up all over India, and not only focusing on the tier 1 cities, the tier 2 cities, we foresee that the ICU market and also the general ward market to be much higher. Gufic, and I mentioned this in one of the answers before, we were right now addressing only a 5,000 crore representative market. We have a pipeline of making this 5,000 crore market. So in today's term, out of the 1,80,000 crore, till around 2 quarters back, we were representing 5,000 crores in terms of critical care. Now with dual chamber bags coming in, with Zarbot coming in, with now some other molecules planned, we have planned around some another 140 molecules to be prepared and launched in the next, I would say, 2 to 3 years. We are looking at this 5,000 crore market to be actually more to a 25,000 crore market. As on now, the 25,000 crore market anyway is growing at around maybe 10 to 12% year over year. So we foresee that if we come up with keeping lyophilization as a backbone, keeping in mind just the product extension to support that lyophilization in terms of pre-fill syringes, ampules, suspensions, vials, dual chamber bags, and so on and so forth, we are quite bullish about that in the Indian market also. Now, let's take the international market. Gufic has only touched markets like Germany with only 2 molecules. When I mean 2 molecules, maybe 4 products, but I'm sorry, 3 molecules, but out of that only maybe 6 SKUs. What we have a product basket in India, if we can start extrapolating this product basket to maybe Germany, to Portugal, to UK, to Brazil, to Canada, to Russia, where we already are present, you see that's a separate market share we are going into. India might be still ranked around the 12th to 14th country in terms of value. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I saw in some data some time ago. So even there are other markets like Europe which have maybe a better pricing, or even let's say even if the pricing goes down, it will be still much better than what we are getting in India and having good volumes there itself. So we are quite bullish that right now where we are present in multiple countries but only having 2 products or 5 products or 7 products, and I'm talking only regulated markets. Let me come to the semi-regulated later on. We foresee a big thing coming there. Also, India, it took us some, almost last 6-7 years to develop a strong pipeline, and now because of the money and the cash flow coming in, we have a faster onset of increasing the pipeline. Along with the Navsari R&D, now we have an Indore R&D. So with these 2 R&Ds, we are churning out new products in terms of dossiers, in terms of things, month after month. So the time of us having a bigger basket in these multiple countries just keeps on going more and more. So that's why I think answering, I will not take much of your time because I know there are other questions. I'm getting messages that please wind it up, but I'm just saying lyophilization and I would say overall injectable business with new drug delivery systems like dual chamber bags or pre-fill syringes or even dual chamber syringes will keep on going up and which will be the core competency for us. And it's not that we are going away from, so even if an oral vaccine comes or immuno-oncology comes, it's eventually going to be an injection on an oral pharmaceutical product, which will be anyway having some sort of a lyophilization for bulk sterilization or for bulk lyophilization, or for that matter, even making it, all these products are heat labile, are water, they decompose on, exposure to atmospheric humidity. So lyophilization will be the backbone for these technologies also in the future.
Thanks. Very comprehensive, very helpful, and wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Chetan Phalke with Alpha Invesco. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, just wanted to understand regarding our Indore plant. As Roongta sir rightly mentioned, I mean, we will achieve 35-40% capacity utilization in the first year, and then it will gradually go up. So when can we reach 70-80% kind of utilization at our Indore plant once after we commence the operation? And once we achieve that kind of utilization, what should be our fair understanding of the gross margin trajectory? I mean, can we expect 55% plus kind of gross margin?
Yeah, so I think for the margin, I'll try to give my point of view, but again, I'll request Roongta sir to comment about it after I give you the answer about the capacity. So in terms of the capacity, on a pessimistic way, I'm saying let's say everything is against us and everything goes wrong, we still look like a 3 to 4 year window after the first, let's say in April 2020, the commercialization will happen. I'm looking at least a 3 to 4 year window on the pessimistic thing that it will go, let's say a 4 year window for a pessimistic way. In an optimistic way, I can look at a 2.5 to 3 year window, maybe where for us to reach 70-80% capacity, because there are two things which we have to be ready for. You know, the Navsari I foresee in the next 1.5 year to have that maturity and that saturation coming in because of the dossiers which we are filing. Of course, in addition to the Indian market, which is also growing at that fast pace. So if our regulatory team and the dossier submission team can catch up, can keep the pace with our production team, then we should be fine in 2.5, 3 years. And or if our regulatory team is way behind, or we have some other issue where the inspections can be delayed or something delayed from the government authorities in terms of approvals, then it might be 4 years on a higher way.
Okay, and the gross margin trajectory, sir.
Yeah, gross margin, I feel, gross margin, I think we already are at around, but again, let me not say anything. I think we already have reached around 52 or something. But Roongta sir, maybe you can throw some light over that. How do you foresee that going forward?
Sir, it depends. First year will be because of the validation batch. There will be very high consumption of raw material. So first year, I can see the gross margin may be in the range of around 55%. Second year, it can be increased to 50%. And from second year onwards, I feel the gross margin will be around 55%. But first year, it will be, gross margin will be 45% because of the validation batch of the initial product to be consumed. And second year will be average, that is around 50%. And third year onwards, it will be around 55%.
Got it, sir. Thank you very much. And my follow-up question is, sir, what are the opportunities that we are seeing in the global CDMO market? Because I think some 2-3 quarters back, we had mentioned that we have signed some 3 contracts for contract research and development with a couple of big multinationals and a couple of European companies as well. So just wanted to have your views on that, sir.
So yeah, that is the hope which we have, because having 300,000 or 320,000 square feet single premises of having almost all form of injectables in all the way from, like I mentioned, again I'm repeating, but please don't get irritated, that from lyophilization to PFS to suspensions to dual chamber to even there might be a provision of a ophthalmic line also in phase 2 if we intend to. So it just makes, and of course the capacity is huge. So with this we'll be the biggest general facility manufacturer in the world of lyophilization, even above China in one of the plants there. So I foresee that CDMO will be an important thing for us. CMO has been an important thing because we always feel that it's always better to have these big brothers or the big companies to actually help you to reach that scale, which always takes it forward, and that is a thing which we really believe in. So we foresee definitely there are opportunities. We already in discussion for our Indore factory. We are in the inspections, and people's visit to Indore will start from November, December, January itself, even before going live with commercialization. So because we want them to be part of the regulatory process, we want them to give us ideas that whenever we are doing the final touch-ups of the factory, we are incorporating all their ideas and all their guidance. So then when tomorrow, let's say even if a market opportunity for US opens up for us, we are equipped to handle their, CMO business or CDMO business.
Okay. And what's the progress on these 3 contracts that we signed a couple of quarters back?
Oh yeah, so already we already have Two of them already the dossier and stability in place. We are finishing something. For some products, the pre-formulation is done. We are looking at, waiting for the Indore facility to come, because then we have to go for the tech transfer there. So that always goes through. So some people, like I said, there might be some contracts which might fall off because timelines might go here and there. The US generic market is very aggressive in terms of first launches. So talks are already on. So I will say two of them are going very aggressively. One we might put on hold because it depends on the timelines of when will the Indore commercialize happen and is the client happy with the time for the ANDA filing.
Okay. Got it, sir. That was very helpful. Thank you very much, Pranav.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Irshan with Vivok Commercial. Please go ahead.
Good evening. I just had one question regarding your SLM division. What is the revenue contribution from this division, and what kind of growth are we seeing in this division from the past 3-4 quarters?
So the contribution will not be more than, I think, 3% or something, or around 3% if I'm not mistaken. But again, I'll ask Roonghta sir to confirm that. And the growth is almost around, since the base is too small, so I believe at Aesthaderm, the cosmetic products are not growing much, maybe only around 6 to 7%, but the Stanox, the botulinum toxin, is on a quarter-to-quarter level growing at around at least 25-30%.
And what kind of aspirations do we have for this division? Like what kind of revenue contribution do we aspire to derive from this division, let's say in the next 3-4 years?
Specifically for botulinum toxin, I have made it spoken about in the past also, that keeping the international market and the potential what it has, India is very, I would say, in the infancy stage in terms of penetration. So again, I think I mentioned in the past also, but if you put a gun on my head, I still feel the botulinum toxin market should be close to 70-80 crore in the next 3 years. If I can, again, I'm saying that also the potential is much high in India, but I know the hard work which has to follow. So even if I can do 70-80 crore, then the next 100, 300 and 500 would be easier. The first 70-80 will be a big challenge for me.
Thank you. That's it from my end.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraint, that was the last question for today. And now I would like to hand the conference over to Ms. Amy for closing remarks.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining this call. I hope all your questions and queries are satisfactorily answered by us. And in case if there are any further questions that have remained unanswered today, you can reach out to us or Mr. Deven Dhruva from SGA Investor Relations Partner. The contact details are already provided on the last slide of the presentation uploaded on the website of the stock exchange, and you can find it on the website of the company as well. Thank you so much. Good evening. Stay safe and take care.
Thank you. On behalf of Gufic Biosciences Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.